For this evening's championship ball game will be Ron Birch and Dave DeBoer. We are just about set to go with the starting lineups. The Bulldogs, Madison, by the way, will be in their home uniforms tonight, and the home white, and the Kernels will be wearing their road black uniforms here for the first time this year on their home floor at the Corn Palace. We'll get the starting lineups for Madison. Will be announced first of all. Head coach Tim Gusso doing a little cheering of himself down there on the bench. He'll clap him, pats on the back as they come out to the floor. First of all, at the guards will be number 20, 5'10", senior Matt Layton, and number 22, 6-foot junior Alan Moss. At one forward, number 30 is 6-foot senior Bill Elfson. The other forward, number 42, 6-foot senior Scott Jones. And at center, number 32, 6'2", junior John Gross. The head coach, Tim Gusso, assistant coach Tom Osterberg. And again, the Bulldogs are 3-17 on the year after their overtime win over the Flandreau Indians last night, 64-62. Now the starting lineups for the Mitchell Kernels this evening. First of all, at the guards, number 11, 6-foot senior Kyle Adams, and number 13, 5'11", senior Scott Munson. At the forwards tonight for the Kernels, number 21, 6'4", and a junior, Chad Anderson. And number 31, 6'1", senior Kelly Splits. And at center is number 35, 6'9", junior Bart Friedrick. Head coach of the Mitchell Kernels, Gary Munson, assisted by Jim Montgomery. The Kernels 18-1 on the year, coming off the 53-38 victory over Chamberlain last night. Of course, the Kernels co-champions in the ESD Conference this year, along with the Brookings Bobcats. And our two men in the stripes tonight, Ron Birch, Dave DeBoer, are ready. Birch out to the center of the floor to put the ball up in the air. And the big crowd here at the Corn Palace we're set for our title game here tonight. The Bulldogs break huddle from around Coach Tim Gusso, come out to the center of the floor, and now here come the Kernels. Again, Madison in white, Kernels in black. Again, we'll welcome the fans up Madison Way on KJAM tonight, and here, of course, in the Mitchell area on KMIT. Bart Friedrick, 6'9", will jump it up against John Gross at 6'2". Everybody shaking hands. Now we're set to go. Ron Birch will put the ball up here and get us underway. The opening tap will be batted around and picked up by Madison. Scott Jones in the lane, puts up a short shot, no good. We get a foul on the rebound, and it's going to go against the Kernels. Foul is going to be called against Chad Anderson. Came over the back on the rebound. The original tip tapped around, hit a couple of three sets of hands, finally wound up with Scott Jones. He missed his shot, but Chad Anderson on the foul going after the rebound. So the Bulldogs will have it underneath their own basket. Layton inbounds to Jones in the corner. Now on the left wing, Alan Moss with it. Back left-hand corner to Layton. Pass into Jones, and he stepped on the baseline. Out of bounds turnover against the Bulldogs. So they're trying to get the ball right inside early. See if they can go to work on Bart Friedrick in there. But a turnover, and now the Kernels will come up, and we'll get a 2-1-2 zone here by Madison. Scott Munson on the right wing. The Kelly split down deeper in the corner. Back to Munson. He's open for 12-foot jumper. It's a little bit short. Rebound tapped around, still alive, and the Kernels will come away with it. It'll come to Kyle Adams, and he'll bring it back out front. Left wing now to Chad Anderson. In the corner, Kelly split, drives to the basket, misses the short shot. Rebound, Friedrick is up and in. Bart Friedrick gets the opening hoop on the missed shot by Kelly Split, who drove the baseline, and it's 2-0 Mitchell. And now Moss brings it up into the front court, getting some man-to-man pressure from Kyle Adams. Kernels are going man-to-man defensively. Moss leads it out front. Now they get it right side of the lane to Gross. Shot up is good, and he's going to draw the foul. Kyle Adams reaching in will pick up the foul. And so we've got a 2-2 ball game. And John Gross will be going to the free throw line, the 6'2 junior. Nice shot by Gross, side of the lane. Looked like Kyle Adams just tried to come in from behind that time, reach in a little bit as John went up and grabbed him on the arm ever so slightly. Free throw is up, it's good, and Madison has the first lead of the ball game. Their first lead, we should say, 3-2. Just over a minute gone here in the first quarter. Scott Munson up the floor for Mitchell. Left side, Kyle Adams. Now to Chad Anderson. Drives right up the middle of the lane and scores. Found an opening right up the middle of the zone, and Chad Anderson took it all the way to the hoop, and it's 4-3 Mitchell. Now the Bulldogs down quickly with it. Scott Jones on the left wing. He'll wait for a little bit of help to catch up on the play. Drops it for Moss to the free throw line. Bill Elfson with it, being guarded by Anderson. Off now to Gross. 12-footer is short off the left side. Here's a long pass to Bart Friedrick, and Friedrick is going to lose the ball out of bounds, and it will belong to Madison. Not a very familiar position for Bart Friedrick to be in. He was leading the fast break down the floor. And he got the pass, and I think really was a little bit confused himself on what to do with it. And Coach Gary Munson out there and yelling out to him, I think probably saying, slow it up if that happens again. He had a couple of men to beat, and he just plain lost control of the dribble. Here's Elfson, free throw line. Jumper is short. We've got a foul on the rebound. It'll go against Madison, and will be called against Scott Jones. First foul of the ball game against the Bulldogs. And the Kernels will throw it in from down underneath the Madison basket, leading 4-3 with exactly now 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kyle Adams, top of the key against that 2-1-2 zone. Will work the left side to Anderson. Now to split in the corner. Back out front. Adams, he'll go from 20. This one's a little long, and the rebound, Scott Jones has it. Jones will leave it for Moss, and the Bulldogs will bring it up, and a chance for them to go back out in front again. Kyle Adams giving him a little pressure, almost tipped that ball away. Comes now to Gross on the right wing. John with a couple of dribbles. Off to the free throw line to Moss. He's going to be called for traveling. Alan Moss started to make a move into the lane on Scott Munson, but he took that little step before he put the ball down. Second turnover against the Bulldogs. Their ball game last night against Flandreau was a turnover-filled contest, back and forth. 4-3 Mitchell. Kernels with a basketball. Chad Anderson in the left corner. Brings it back outside. Munson, top of the circle. Now they lob it into Friedrick. He'll turn around with a jumper, and it's good off the glass. 4 points now for Friedrick, and the Kernels lead 6-3. Scott Jones with it again, quickly into the front court for the Bulldogs. Mitchell putting on a little bit of pressure, not all that much full court. Pick him up about half court. Bill Elfson just outside the free throw line. Off now to Gross. Got a screen at the left side, but couldn't take advantage of it. Brings it over to Moss on the right wing, starting a drive on Kyle Adams. Pulls up with a jumper, way too long, and the rebound to Chad Anderson. Here come the Kernels on the run. Adams will stop out front now and set up the play. Mitchell could go up by 5 with a basket. Split into Friedrick. Here's his turnaround again. This one won't go. A little bit too hard off the glass. Came off the front of the rim, and the rebound to Scott Jones. So it stays 6-3. The Kernels, 4:25 to go, first quarter. Moss into the front courts. Drops it for John Gross outside the free throw line. Friedrick comes out to put a little pressure on. Now to Elfson. Back to Gross. It comes again. Kernels staying man-to-man and playing it pretty tight all over the floor. Madison trying to set some screens down low to break somebody loose. Not being able to do it so far. Scott Jones with it now. Starts a drive. He's cut off of the side of the lane by Kelly Split. And the Bulldogs will bring it right back out front again. Alan Moss will work top of the circle. So Madison being very patient here, wanting a good shot. Gross now driving in, and he scores. Got around Bart Friedrick. Good drive by John Gross, the 6'2 junior, as he went right around Bart Friedrick that time, and it's 6-5, the Kernels. Scott Munson left side to Split in the corner. He'll go from 18. No good off the front of the rim, and there's Scott Jones again on the rebound. Jones been doing a job on the boards here so far for Madison. We have him already for 3 rebounds early. So the Bulldogs can jump back out in front with a bucket here. They trail by just 1. Elfson to Matt Layton at the free throw line. Back to Elfson, top of the circle. We approach 3 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Very evenly played basketball game thus far. Moss way out near the center jump circle, looking for some help, and I think he may have traveled. No, 5-second call. Moss couldn't get rid of the basketball in time, and we get a 5-second call by official Ron Birch out near the 10-second line. We're going to get our first substitution. Tim Bird has come in at a guard, the 5'11 junior for Mitchell, and Scott Munson will go out. As we say, they've shared that guard duty throughout the year. Bird brings it up, leaves it for Kyle Adams. Deeper in the left-hand corner, Chad Anderson. Now back out front again. Here's Adams from the perimeter, and he hits it. 20 feet away on the right side. Adams with his first basket, and the Kernels lead again is 3 at 8-5. 2:35 remains first quarter. Matt Layton, side of the lane to Scott Jones. On him there is Kelly Split, now being double teamed. Has to bring the ball back out front once again. Layton being pressured. Gets the ball across, and I think we're going to get a foul. We are against Chad Anderson. Not to say he gets the ball across to Bill Elfson. The ball didn't quite get there because Chad Anderson knocked it away, but Anderson also bumped Bill Elfson with the body. And Chad is going to pick up foul number 2. Third team foul against Mitchell. And we're going to get our first timeout of the ball game right here. The Bulldogs want to call timeout with 2:23 to go in the first quarter. It's Mitchell 8, Madison 5. We'll be back in a minute. Feeling each other out here a little bit in the early going. Not all that many shots taken at the basket here in the first quarter. Bulldogs work with it. Mitchell staying man-to-man in the corner. Matt Layton drives to the baseline, puts up a 10-footer, no good, gets his own rebound, and he's going to draw the foul. This one will go on Tim Bird. And we'll have a couple of shots coming up. That's also the 4th team foul against Mitchell. One more, Madison will be in the 1-1, and boy, last night Mitchell got themselves in foul trouble early in the ball game, and Chamberlain made 14 out of 16 in the first half from the line. And here's Matt Layton with his first free throw up and good. So it's 8-6, Mitchell. Second one on the way, and also good. 8-7, the Kernels. Got a new man in for Mitchell. And that's John Christensen has come into the lineup at a forward spot. He's in there for Chad Anderson. Kyle Adams out front. Madison stays the same defensively. The 2-1-2 zone. Christensen in the corner. Lobs it into Friedrick. Turnaround, good. Giving Friedrick a little bit of room to shoot that ball in the lane. And he's at that 6-8-foot range right out in front with that turnaround. And pretty deadly with it. Now here's a steal by Kyle Adams. He'll feed to Bird. Bird goes in, lays it up. Kyle Adams with a steal. Tim Bird with a basket. And Mitchell now out in front by 5 at 12-7. That defense has been such key for the Mitchell Kernels all year long. They try and double team again out front on Alan Moss, but he gets it away. Scott Jones in the right-hand corner, trying to drive the baseline against Kelly Split. He stepped on the baseline and out of bounds. Turnover against the Bulldogs, and that is their 5th of the ball game here now. We're going to get a new man, it looks like, in for Coach Tim Gusso, I should say. Brian Harmders is going to come in, 5'10 junior. Brian had a pretty good ball game last night with 8 points against Flandreau. Kernels up by 5. Madison has turned it over twice in a row. Bird to Christensen in the corner. Now Kelly Split is playing out front. They lob the ball down to Friedrick again. Another turnaround. It's good again. Madison's going to have to get somebody out there on Bart Friedrick and get a hand in the face because he loves that shot from right out in front of the basket. Moss starting to penetrate, and it's stolen away again. Bird, he leads Kyle Adams. The layup is good. 3 turnovers in a row by the Bulldogs. And Mitchell has all of a sudden jumped out in front by 9, 16-7. 30 seconds to go, and here's another turnover. Kyle Adams again taking it away from Moss. To Bird, layup is in. Well, Mitchell is blowing this one wide open all of a sudden here now, and Madison is having turnover problems. 4 of them right in a row. Bang, bang, bang. In the lane, we're going to get a foul against the Kernels as the ball comes inside to Bill Elfson. John Christensen there with the bump. That's his first, but that will put Madison now into the 1-1 situation. Another new man in for the Bulldogs. Jeff Kirstein comes into the lineup at a guard spot. Kirstein, 5'10 junior. At the line will be Bill Elfson, 6-foot senior. 18-7. Mitchell has exploded into the lead. The free throw is good by Elfson. That's his first point of the night. Just 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter. So things were very even until the 2.5-minute mark, but then it's really changed. Second one also good by Elfson. 18-9. Kernels come up with it. 10 seconds as they come into the front court. Bird on the dribble with 7, 6. to Adams, left side. Adams will pump it with 3 seconds, won't go. Rebound to Christensen. He can't get the shot off. It went in, but it didn't go before the buzzer, so it does not count. We're at the end of the quarter, 18-9. The Kernels, here's the shooting for you. Madison only 2 out of 8 from the field in the first quarter. Mitchell was 9 out of 15, but that's not the big story. The story was the turnovers. 7 of them in the first quarter against Madison, and 4 out of those 7 came in the final 2.5 minutes of the quarter, and that's when Mitchell opened it up. It was a tight game up to that point. Here's the tap to start quarter number 2. Friedrick gets it to Tim Bird, and the Kernels will go on offense. Their biggest lead was 18-7. They held that right before the end of the quarter. Bird, left-hand wing, cross-court pass to Adams. Now into Friedrick. He'll fade away again. This one's off the mark, but Kelly Split with a nice tip-in on the rebound. Beautiful job there by Kelly Split. He had to reach way back behind his head and tip that one back up and in, and it's 20-9. First basket for Kelly Split. Free throw line, John Gross now for the Bulldogs. He's going to drive inside on Friedrick, puts it up and in off the glass. Good move by Gross. He's played well. John has 7 points already. 7 out of the 11 for Madison. Bird, top of the circle for Mitchell, goes right side to Adams. Now in the corner, Christensen into Friedrick. He'll turn around, and it's good off the glass. 10 points for Bart Friedrick, who's got the good touch the way it looks going tonight. 22-11, Mitchell. 1 minute into quarter number 2. At the free throw line, Elfson wants to go up with a shot. Ball knocked away from him, and we're going to get a jump ball call. They say it was held long enough at the free throw line for the jump. John Christensen had his hand right on it as Elfson tried to go up with a shot. They never did really get both hands securely tied on the ball, but the jump ball will belong to Mitchell. Tim Bird, not to Adams, right side of the lane. He's going to wait for a little bit of help. Drops it back out to Bird at the top of the key. Again to Adams, and now to Christensen in the corner. He'll shoot it from there, and he hits it. John Christensen with his first basket of the night, an 18-footer from the baseline. And Mitchell with their biggest lead, 24-11. Alpson, right side for Madison. To the free throw line, Brian Harmdirks has the ball poked away, but it comes back out front as he wanted to go up with a shot. Good defense by the Kernels. They're staying in that man-to-man, and it has worked for them so far, especially the double teaming out front on the Madison guards. That's what's caused most of the turnovers thus far. Harmdirks, left wing to the free throw line, back to Gross. Has to leave it back outside again for Alan Moss. Moss now down to the baseline right side, getting double teamed. He's going to go with a turnaround jumper, blocked by Bart Friedrick. The Bulldogs get it back. Elfson had it. Still has it out in the corner. He needs some help. Throws it way out, and it's going to go back over the center court line. We're going to get an over and back violation. The Bulldogs are having troubles, lots of troubles on offense right now. They just can't seem to get anything started. As soon as they go inside, the Kernels have rejected a couple of shots in a row. And then that time, Elfson being pinched in the corner just had to flip the ball outside over his head, and it went back into the backcourt for a turnover. And the Kernels have it with their 13-point lead. Christensen, left-hand corner, now into Friedrick, goes to the hoop, lays it in. That time Friedrick didn't go to the middle of the lane for that little fadeaway jumper. He went right to the basket with it, and that's a dozen points now for Bart Friedrick, and it's 26-11. Free throw line, Gross working against Friedrick. Can't go inside. Now to the right-hand corner, Harmdirks with it. Brian brings it back to Jeff Kirstein. Top of the circle. Now from the free throw line, shot up and good by John Gross. Oh, he's been the bright spot here for Madison. He's got 9 out of the 13 points for the Bulldogs. Kyle Adams down to Christensen again at the baseline. Lob pass into Friedrick. This time he's going to be fouled from behind. Gross reached in. Got him on the back. No free throws coming up here. That's only the second team foul against Madison, and just the first against John Gross. 4:53 to go first half. Mitchell will throw it in from underneath. They go outside on the perimeter, get it back to Adams in the corner. Now to Friedrick again, and he's got another basket inside. 14 points already for Bart Friedrick. The Bulldogs are not putting a man in front of Friedrick. and there's not a whole lot you can do once you get the ball inside to him. And now we're going to get an offensive foul against the Bulldogs, as Matt Layton, coming across the 10-second line, is going to be called for charging into Kyle Adams. That'll be the first against Layton. Third team foul against Madison. The Kernels have a chance to go out in front now by 17 points with a bucket. Kelly split right wing to Bird, top of the circle. They give him some room to shoot. Doesn't want it. Goes back to Split. He'll take it from the side of the lane. No good. Christensen on the rebound will score. And Mitchell dominating underneath the basket. That's a second bucket for John Christensen, and it's a 30-13 ball game. At the free throw line, ball knocked away, loose out front, comes into the backcourt. Now the Kernels pick it up. Bird with a long pass down to Kyle Adams. Return to Bird under the Christensen. He can't get the shot to go. Christensen again. That one falls off, no good. Now Bird, he'll score. Well, that one brings the crowd to life as the Kernels 3-4 shots at the basket. Finally, John Christensen got it, and it is 32-13. Out front, Harmberg starting a drive. That's blocked out of bounds by Bart Friedrick. It'll belong to Madison underneath her own basket. We're going to get substitutes. Scott Jones will check back in for the Bulldogs. Scott Munson will come in for Mitchell. And Mitchell has scored 14 points to 4 for the Bulldogs here in the quarter. Now another steal. Split knocks it away to Kyle Adams. Adams is going to be fouled as he goes in for the shot. It'll go against Matt Layton. That's 10 turnovers now against the Bulldogs. Mitchell has committed only one, and that has really been the big difference in the ball game. Kyle Adams will be at the line. That foul, by the way, against Matt Layton is his second. Adams with 4 points. This is the first free throw of the ball game for Mitchell, and he hits it. 33-13. Now Mitchell's outscored Madison 15-4 here in the second quarter with 3:28 to go. They get 16-4 as Adams also hits his second free throw. Makes it 34-13. Layton will bring it into the front court, and now Mitchell is going to drop into a zone defense for the first time. They'll go to the 2-1-2 zone. Come out of that man-to-man. Layton, left side to Kirstein. Now to Harmdirks. Harmdirks' right-hand corner will go with an 18-footer. No good, but a foul is going to be called on John Christensen. Christensen coming way outside, tried to put a hand up, I think, in the face that time of Harmdirks, but he inadvertently slapped him on the arm as he went up too. Brian Harmdirks will go to the line, 5'10" junior. We're going to get a substitute for Mitchell. Rich Whitman will come in, and John Christensen will go out. And also for Madison, we'll get Alan Moss back in, and Kirstein will go out. Rich Whitman, first time in the ball game for the Kernels, 6'2" senior. Harmdirks ready for his first shot of the two, and it's good. Madison is perfect from the line tonight. Bulldogs are 6 for 6. However, from the field, they have made only 4 out of 11. Second shot also good. So Harmdirks has his first 2 points of the night. It's 34-15. 3 minutes remains in the first half. Kelly split, long one from the right side, comes up well short, rebound to Madison. Moss clears it out to Layton. He drives in and scores. Matt Layton on the fast break basket. He's got 4 points on the night. 34-17. Madison staying in the 2-1-2 zone. Rich Whitman, right-hand corner with the ball for the Kernels. Top of the key, Scott Munson. Now left wing, Kyle Adams. He lobs it in for Friedrick. They poke the ball away and steal it. Long pass down to Layton again. He's going to drive in, and he'll be fouled this time. Scott Munson had to foul, or it would have been an easy 2 points for Matt Layton. So the Bulldogs getting out and running with it, and Coach Tim Gusso up off the bench and clapping his hands as he likes to see that kind of play out of his ball club. Alan Moss again with the outlet pass. That's twice in a row that Moss has started that fast break. So Layton at the line for a pair, and he's got the first one. Madison still has not missed. They are 8 out of 8 from the line, and it's 34-18. Second one up, also good. 34-19 with 2:25 remaining in the first half. Kyle Adams brings it up no pressure. Sets up out front. Now to the left side. Munson to Widman. Widman going to drive the baseline all the way in, and he can't get his shot to go. Good move by Rich Widman, but the ball fell off the back of the iron, and Scott Jones there to pick up the rebound for the Bulldogs. Madison now looking to close the gap even further here as they've reeled off the last 4 points. Harmdurks, right wing, to Alan Moss out front. Harmdurks, side of the lane, wants to go up with a shot, but it's batted out of bounds by Bart Friedrick. Second block of the night there for Friedrick. And Harmdurks will throw it in from underneath. Comes out to Moss. He's open for the 17-footer. A little bit too long, and the rebound comes into the corner. Kelly Split controls it there for the Kernels. Into the front court, Kyle Adams. He'll pull up from 15. It won't go. We're going to get a foul underneath. It's going to go against Mitchell. Rich Widman will be called for the foul, going for rebounding position. Evidently pushed off a little bit on the inside. And that is just number 1 against Widman, but we are in the 1-on-1 situation for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be John Gross who will go to the free throw line. Reminder, you're listening to KJAM FM in Madison and KMIT FM in Mitchell. Tim Smith along with Scott Hilley from the Corn Palace. Free throw is up and good by John Gross. And boy, I'll tell you what, Bulldogs are really taking advantage of these free throws. Keeping themselves right in the ball game from the free throw line. Going to get another substitution. Bill Elfson will come back in. And Harmdurks is going to get a little rest. Scott Jones with a second one, and this time it won't go down. It comes out of there. Rebound to Bart Friedrick. So that's the first miss of the night for Madison from the line. Scott Munson having some troubles holding on to the ball as he comes into the front court, but finally regains possession. And now the Kernels will set it up with 1:20 to go in the half. Widman in the corner to Kelly Split. Drives into the lane. Little 12-foot jumper is short. Split gets his own rebound up and in. 4 points now for Kelly Split. Makes it 36-20. We have the rebounding 12-6 right now in favor of Mitchell. The Kernels have gotten a lot of second, third shots on their own offensive end. Here's Scott Jones with a jumper left side. High bounce off the rim, no good. Rebound to Friedrick. Outlet pass to Kelly Split, and he's going to be fouled right at center court. Alan Moss tried to reach in, knocked the ball away, and he got Kelly Split on the arm, and that'll put Mitchell at the line for the 1-on-1 for the first time here in the first half. First foul against Alan Moss. But now number 5 team-wise against the Bulldogs. Kelly Split, 6'1" senior, averaging 9.5 points a game, will go to the line. His shot is good. Mitchell also is perfect from the free throw line now, although they haven't shot nearly as many times. They're 3 for 3. Second one by Split, also good. 38-20, the Kernels. We're under 50 seconds to go now in the half as the Bulldogs bring it up. Moss, top of the circle. Mitchell in that 2-1-2 zone. They were predominantly man-to-man here in the first half. Switched to the zone with about 2-3 minutes to go in the first half. Jones in the corner. Back out to Moss. Now Elfson at the top of the circle. 30 seconds remains. Moss and Elfson playing a little catch there on the left side. And down to Jones again. Moss takes a look up at the clock. 22 seconds to go in the half. Looks like the Bulldogs kind of holding on here, going for a final shot if they can get it. No, now it's going to be put up, and Layton will hit it. He was open from 15 on the right side. 38-22, the Kernels come up with 6 seconds. 5 in the corner, the ball's going to go out of bounds. Kyle Adams tried to dump it off in the corner. Nobody was there. The Kernels throw it away with 3 seconds to go. And I believe the Bulldogs want to call a timeout. Yep, using his second timeout. Why not? You can't save him for the second half. So they'll have to hustle it. They get it into Moss. Now to half-court Jones. He lets fly. It'll count. No, it's just a little bit short. 2 quick passes up to half-court, and Alan Moss got off the shot. Or check that, I should say. John Gross got off the shot. But it fell short, and that is the end of the first half, with Mitchell leading by 16. The score, Mitchell 38. Other teams come out to the center jump circle. We'll have the same starters for Madison: John Gross, Bill Elfson, Scott Jones, Matt Layton, and Alan Moss. And for Mitchell, Bart Friedrick, Kelly Split, Chad Anderson, Scott Munson, and Kyle Adams. Friedrick jumping against Scott Jones, or check that, against John Gross, and Friedrick gets the tap. Back to Tim Bird. Let me change that. We do not have Scott Munson starting. Bird is starting in his place here, the third quarter. Right away, the Kernels go into Friedrick. He dumps it off to Bird, open at the side of the lane for the shot. Well, that time Madison did collapse right around Bart Friedrick. 3 men right around him. But Friedrick just dished it off on the side of the lane, and Bird had himself an easy shot. And it's 40-22 Mitchell. Kernels going to open up man-to-man defensively. Shot from the outside, good from almost 20 feet out there. Matt Layton will pump one in from the perimeter. That puts Layton into double figures with 10 points. 40-24. Madison will stay in their 2-1-2 zone. Chad Anderson to Tim Bird out front. Now in the lane, here's the turnaround by Friedrick. It rolls off the left side, no good, and the rebound controlled by the Bulldogs. Bill Elfson, the 6-foot senior, there to clear the boards. Elfson leaves it for Alan Moss, who brings it up, getting a little pressure there from Kyle Adams. Out of the free throw line, Jones with it. Scott dumps it into the corner. Layton back for Jones, but poked away and stolen by Kelly Split. He'll lead it to Kyle Adams, and Adams will lay it up and in. So there's another turnover that the Kernels are able to convert into 2 points at the other end. It's 42-24, and now the Bulldogs again are going to turn the ball over. The pass out front. John Gross tried to get it over to Scott Jones. It went off his hands, out of bounds, right in front of the Bulldog bench. And the Kernels have a chance to go back up by 20. That would equal their biggest lead of the game. Adams left side to Anderson. Now to Split. He'll drive all the way underneath. Misses it, but there's Friedrick to follow. Bart Friedrick with a basket. Good move by Kelly Split at the baseline, but missed the shot. Got too far underneath, but Friedrick was right there. Now a drive by the Bulldogs. We are going to get an offensive foul called against Bill Elfson. Some of the Madison fans not agreeing with that one, but Friedrick was pretty well positioned right at the side of the lane and did not move. Elfson tried to go by him, and he'll pick up the charge. His first foul. So Mitchell by 20 and a chance to add to that. Into the lane. Bird knocked away from him. Friedrick picks it up, takes a short jumper that falls out of there, no good, and now cleared out by John Gross. So the Kernels had a good shot from in the lane that time, but wouldn't fall for Friedrick. Out front, ball going to be batted away by Kyle Adams. Goes out of bounds at side court. Will still belong to Madison. 5:45 to go, third quarter. And Mitchell with a very comfortable-looking 20-point lead right now. They're trying to do a little of that double-team action again out front. Bird and Adams, the guards, putting pressure on the Bulldogs on the outside. Now to the corner, Matt Layton with it. Thought about taking the shot a little bit too far out there, about 22 feet away. Layton looking for some help inside. Can't find anybody open. Now dribbles around to the left side. Leaves it there for Scott Jones on the wing. Jones to the free throw line to Gross. Off on the side, Elfson. Elfson's jumper good, just outside the free throw line. About a 17-footer there, 4 points for Elfson. And the Kernels' lead is 18. Mitchell brings it right up again now. Anderson, left side. Here's Kyle Adams from the perimeter. He'll drill one in from 20 feet away. Adams is in double figures with 10. So the Kernels have 2 players also in doubles. Friedrick with 16 and Adams with 10. Gross and Layton both have 10 for Madison. Here's a drive right side and a shot up and good by John Gross. He's got a dozen now. Took it right in there on Bart Friedrick. Challenged him and put it in off the glass. Anderson goes underneath the Kelly Split. Turnaround is good right at the side of the lane. So we're just exchanging baskets at either end here. And it stays a 20-point Mitchell lead, 48-28. Halfway mark of quarter number 3. Jones out on the left wing. Kelly Split giving him some pressure now. Jones gets the ball away. It's poked loose on the floor and picked up by Tim Bird. Feeds into Kelly Split, misses it, but Chad Anderson follows with a basket. So again, the Kernels poke it loose. It was Kyle Adams, I think, who got the original hand on the ball to knock it away. And then Bird got the fast break going. Here's a shot right side of the lane. Won't go by Gross. Jones had a tip-in attempt that wouldn't go. And now Madison's going to steal the ball right back again. Kelly Split had it, but his pass is intercepted. And we're going to get a foul against the Kernels as well. It's going to go against Bart Friedrick. Pass came into the side of the lane to Elfson, and Friedrick committed the foul there. That is only his first. The Bulldogs will throw it in from side court. We got Brian Harmdurks back in the lineup now for Madison. He replaces Scott Jones. Baseline, Gross tries to go with a shot, and Chad Anderson with a block. Here's a long pass to Adams. He'll lay it in. Kelly Split with a nice pass length of the floor. Hit Kyle Adams perfectly on the run. And it's 52-28, and now the Kernels with another steal. Pass in the lane is picked off this time by Bart Friedrick. And the Kernels will bring it up, trying to add on to that lead. Inside to Kelly Split. No good on the rebound. Foul against the Bulldogs. It's going to go against Bill Elfson. No shots on this one. It came on the rebound. Elfson second. Mitchell will throw it in from underneath. But the Kernels are out by 24 points here with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And looking pretty secure. They go inside to Friedrick. Takes it to the hoop, and it fell off the side of the rim. Good drive by Friedrick, and now the outlet pass intercepted by Tim Bird. He picks off Harmsdurk's pass, goes inside to Split, and his shot is blocked by John Gross. But here comes Kyle Adams right back with it, and he's going to be fouled as he goes inside. Who wants the basketball? Nobody can hold on to it here. Back and forth we go. The play has gotten a little bit sloppy. Kernels trying to get the ball out and run with it. They've thrown away a couple of times. Same thing for Madison here. A few turnovers, but Kyle Adams ends up at the free throw line, and he hits his first one. So that's 13 points for Adams. And it's 53-28. Second one is no good. The Bulldogs have the rebound. Kernels have outscored Madison here now 15-4. Or 15-6, I should say, the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. We're going to get a foul out near center court against Kyle Adams. He tried to slip in there, knock the ball away from Alan Moss. Just the first against Adams. Second team foul against Mitchell. Bulldogs throw it in from center court. Matt Layton on the outside. Now to Moss, who's still way out near the center jump circle. Goes down to the right-hand corner to Layton. Drives at the baseline, slips it off to Harmdurks. His shot blocked by Bart Friedrick. And it comes to Kelly Split. Split wants to run. Leaves it for Adams, right side. And Kyle Zuz will hold it up and set up the offense as the Bulldogs got back quickly. Anderson to Split. Back to Anderson. 15-footer is good. 6 points for Chad Anderson. And it's 55-28 with 1:52 to go, third quarter. In the lane, we got a whistle as a shot put up by Gross. See if the basket's going to be good. Now they're going to say no basket. I thought they should have given it to John Gross that time. Looked like he was up in the air. Coach Tim Gusso not happy about it. They say no basket. Foul against Bart Friedrick. Madison will have it underneath their own basket. Harmdurks into the corner. Layton will fire, and Matt hits from there. Matt Layton with 12 points. So between Layton and Gross, they both have a dozen. They account for 24 out of the 30 points on the board for the Bulldogs. Kernels will go inside. There's Friedrick. He got inside his man, and they just lobbed the ball into him. 18 points now for Friedrick. 57-30. With 1:25 to go in the quarter. Here's Layton driving in. Shot won't go off the back of the rim. Rebound to Tim Bird. Comes into the front court with it. Not much help, but he's going to drive all the way in, and he'll draw the foul. Good move by Tim Bird. Foul's going to go against Matt Layton, his third. Bird really didn't have anybody with him. A couple of Madison players were back, but Bird took it right up the middle of the lane and got the foul out of it. So Bird will be going to the free throw line. He's got 6 points tonight. Kernels, who held a 16-point lead at halftime, have extended that out here in the third quarter to a 27-point lead. Bird misses his first free throw. Kernels are 5 out of 7 from the line. Second one up. This one is good. 58-30. Pretty good balanced scoring for the Kernels, too. They have, let's see, 6 players with 6 or more points in the ball game. Shot from way out on the left wing by Harmdurks won't go, and the rebound is Scott Munson. Munson into the front court, free throw line, underneath the Bird, and he scores. Nice pass. Good assist by Scott Munson as he laid it to Tim Bird in the air, and he just never had to bring the ball back to the floor. Put it right up and in. 60-30. The Kernels have doubled the score. Shot from the top of the circle. That one will go by Alan Moss. First basket for Moss in the ball game. 60-32. 30 seconds remains in the quarter. John Christensen in the right-hand corner. Out to Bird. Now in the lane. Turnaround by Friedrick. Won't go. Chad Anderson will put up the rebound. That one comes off the back of the rim. No good. And the Bulldogs clear it. Long pass by Gross up to Layton. He'll take a 15-footer right side. Won't go down. And the ball will be out of bounds to Madison as John Christensen was the last one to touch it. 14 seconds to go in the quarter. The Bulldogs will have it underneath their own basket. Layton inbounds in the corner to Harmdurks. 10-9. Now back to Harmdurks, side of the key. Out front, here's a shot by Moss. No good with 4 seconds. Kernels on the rebound. They get it out to Munson. He'll fire at the buzzer. No good off the glass. The third quarter comes to an end with the Mitchell Kernels holding a big lead. The score, Mitchell 60, Madison 32. We'll have the fourth and final quarter in a minute. Ready to go with the start of the fourth quarter here from the Corn Palace, our Section 5 championship game, and Mitchell has the opening tap. Tim Bird will come into the front court with it. Looks right side to John Christensen. He'll put it up good from the baseline. 15-footer, and Christensen has really played well tonight off the bench. He has 8 points. 62-32, the Kernels. Driving the baseline right side is Elfson, and he's going to be bumped there by Chad Anderson. Foul will be called on Anderson. That'll be his third. I'm sure we're going to see quite a few people coming off the bench before this one is through. I know both coaches will probably try and play as many of the seniors as possible, if nothing else. Side of the lane. Gross brings it outside, and the shot up and good by Bill Elfson from out near the top of the key. 6 points for Elfson. 62-34 with a minute gone here in the fourth quarter. Bird, top of the circle, into the lane. Christensen is there, and he puts it in off the glass. Nice shot by Christensen as he found his way open inside that zone by the Bulldogs. Ball out front going to be tapped away by Mitchell out of bounds. Tim Bird got a hand on it. Madison will throw it in right in front of their own bench. 64-32, 64-34, I should say, and the outcome of the game not in doubt anymore, except for the final score here tonight. Mitchell Kernels are going to make their trip to the State A tournament that they have been pointing toward all year long. We're going to get another foul against the Kernels. Scott Munson will be called for it out on the perimeter. Second foul against Munson as he got Alan Moss on the arm, and that is the 15th foul against Mitchell. So we'll go to the free throw line here for Madison now. 1-1 for Alan Moss, the 6-foot junior. Puts it up, and it's short. Friedrick on the rebound for Mitchell. Into the front court, Munson to Christensen, right side. Back to Scott Munson. Now in the lane, here's Friedrick with a turnaround. It's good again. 8-footer, and Friedrick has an even 20 points on the night. 66-34. With just over 6 minutes remaining. Free throw line, John Gross drives in on Friedrick. Block shot by Bart Friedrick. Rebound underneath. Another block as Elfson tried to put it up. Now here's a shot by Elfson, free throw line, no good, and Friedrick on the rebound. So 2 block shots in the lane by Bart Friedrick. Here come the Kernels. Christensen, side of the lane, scores again. Well, somebody has pressed the on button for John Christensen here tonight. He is really putting them up and in. And we're going to get a palming violation against Madison. Brian Harmdurks bringing it up. got the dribble up a little bit high. And now Bart Friedrick is going to go out of the ball game, and listen to the fans. They'll give him a hand as he goes to the bench. Kernel fans up and on their feet as Bart Friedrick leaves with 20 points on the night, and we have him unofficially for 8 rebounds in the ball game as well, along with at least 4 or 5 block shots. Rich Widman in for him. Widman into the lane, tries to dish a pass across to Chad Anderson, and that one's poked away and stolen. Scott Jones comes up with a loose ball. 5:25 to go. And the Kernels lead at 68-34. Elfson out front, having trouble on the dribble. Almost poked away there by Tim Bird. The Bulldogs get it back. In the lane, Jones will take it to the hoop, and he'll be fouled by Rich Widman. Widman, I think, got the ball with a hand all right, but then got Scott Jones with the body as he came down. Second foul against Rich Widman. Scott Jones will be looking yet for his first points of the night. Puts the free throw up and good, so he's into the scoring column now. John Gross, Matt Layton still the leaders for Madison with 12 apiece. Friedrick with 20 for Mitchell. Adams with 13. We've probably seen the last of both of them as they're on the bench. Second free throw, no good by Jones. Kernels bring it up. Scott Munson to Rich Widman. Side of the lane goes up, and we're going to get a foul. This one will go against Scott Jones. And a couple of more substitutions coming in for the Bulldogs. John Gross is going to go out, and coming in to replace him will be Dana Hagan. And also back in will be Jeff Kirstein. We saw Jeff back in the first half. Rich Widman, 6'2" senior, at the line for the Kernels. Puts it up and good. 5:02 to go. 69-35 Mitchell. Second one, no good off the left side. Rebound control by the Bulldogs. Mitchell really opened up this ball game with about 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They jumped out to a 9-point lead at the end of the first quarter and have never been seriously challenged after that. Got a foul out near the free throw line as a pass was coming inside to Dana Hagan, and I think Rich Widman will pick it up again. That'll be his third. That's correct. Third foul against Widman, so Hagan will go to the free throw line. Kernels stretched that 9-point first quarter lead out to 16 at halftime. They led 38-22, and then 60-32 at the end of 3 quarters. Sam Kirstein is also in the lineup now for Madison. He's a sophomore, 5'8". Shot up by Hagan, won't go. The rebound, John Christensen. Off to Chad Anderson, into the front court. Whoa, we got a big collision there, and a foul will go against Madison. Collision between Jeff Kirstein as he was going to intercept the pass, and a mid-air collision there with Rich Widman. Widman went to the floor pretty hard, but he's okay. And Rich will go to the free throw line. 1-1 now for the Kernels for the rest of the ball game as well. 4:38 to go. Free throw up and good by Widman. Got a new man in for Mitchell. Art Rue, senior, has checked in, and also Chad Doctor has come into the lineup. So both teams now going to their bench. As we said, we're going to see a lot of people getting into the lineup here tonight before we're done. Goodwin misses the second one. It remains 70-35. Baseline jumper by Bill Alfson is going to come up short from 15. Art Rue on the rebound. Up to Widman. Pass across the lane. Batted around. Still loose. They dive to the floor after it, and the Bulldogs come up with it. And now a foul is going to be called. And it will go against Scott Munson. That will be his third of the ball game. Go to the Madison line again. Probably going to get a lot of free throws here in the final 4 minutes of the game. But for the Mitchell Kernels, it'll be on to the State A tournament. And I'll tell you what, Mitchell is just can't wait to get back to that tournament and hopefully get another shot at the Brookings Bobcats. They have been talking about it ever since they lost in overtime to Brookings, up at Brookings. The free throw good by Sam Kirstein. And he gets the second one also. 70-37. Mitchell will take a 19-1 record into the State A. Here's Widman from way out, left side baseline. Won't go. About an 18-foot jumper. Scott Jones clears the boards. Into the front court. Sam Kirstein into the lane, and he traveled with it. A little bump out there at the free throw line. No foul call, but the traveling call was. So now we're going to get a couple more new people in for Mitchell. Travis Peters will come in. And Jim Heckenleibel will come in. And we'll also get a new player for Madison. Jeff Veenekamp will come into the lineup. Bill Elbson will go out. So for Mitchell, all of the starters are now on the bench. And I think that's the case for Madison, too. You know, Scott Jones, he's the only one still in there for the Bulldogs of the starters. Kernels get it inside. Chad Doctor, short shot wouldn't go down. Ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll belong to the Kernels. 3:41 to play. Again, Mitchell will be going against the Section 4 champion in the first game that they will play. That'll be the second afternoon contest of the tournament, either Aberdeen Central or Pier, whoever wins that one tonight up in Aberdeen. Chad Doctor, fadeaway side of the lane, comes up short. A rebound pulled out by the Bulldogs. Dana Hagan clears it off into the front court. Jeff Veenekamp, top of the key now to Jeff Kirstein. Side of the lane with it, trying to get off a shot as Hagan can't. Goes out to Scott Jones, and Jones will drill one from way out in the corner. 3 points for Scott on the night, makes it 70-39. Christensen to Art Rue. They play a little catch on the right side. Now to Jim Heckenleibel. He'll fire top of the circle. Won't go. Rebound to the Bulldogs. Comes off to Jeff Veenekamp. Into the front court. They come on the run. Drive inside by Jeff Kirstein, who's going to be fouled as he goes to the hoop. Foul will go against Art Rue, I believe. We're going to get another new man in here for the Bulldogs. Tim Barthel comes into the lineup. 6'2" sophomore. With 2:45 to play. And at the line will be Jeff Kirstein. Puts it up and in. He'll get another one. That's the first point of the night for Jeff. Madison has continued to shoot good free throws all night long. They are 14 out of 18 from the line. Now 15 out of 19 as Jeff Kirstein makes his second one. And another new player, Jamie Wells, now comes in for the Bulldogs. Another sophomore in the lineup. Everybody getting a chance to play here tonight in the Section 5 championship game. Travis Peters into the front court for the Kernels. To Heckenleibel, lob underneath is batted away. Tried to get the ball into Chad Doctor, but one of the Bulldogs was there to tip it away. The Bulldogs season will come to an end here tonight, and they will finish up 3-18. Travis Peters from the corner. Can't get his jumper to go. We're going to get a foul on the rebound, and it will go against John Christensen of Mitchell. So we'll take the walk down to the Madison end of the floor and have another couple of shots coming up here. Of course, this will mark the third time also this year that these two teams have met. And Mitchell has won all three of the meetings, and all three by fairly big margins. Up the line, Veenekamp, and he hits it. So Jeff is into the scoring book tonight. 70-42 the score. Second one on the way, and also good. 2:25 on the clock as the Kernels bring it up. Travis Peters to Christensen. They played a little catch on the right side. Hasn't exactly been the type of championship game that has kept the crowd on the edge of their seats, but still the Mitchell fans, of course, have been enjoying it here. Shot up was no good by Heckenleibel. The ball poked loose is going to go out of bounds in the corner. It'll still belong to the Kernels with 2:06 to go. And we get the buzzer sounding just as the ball was thrown in bounds, and they say, no, you can't come in, so the Kernels will go to work offensively. Rich Widman wants to check back in for Mitchell next opportunity. Art Rue drives inside the lane, tries to slip a pass across. That's going to be picked off by the Bulldogs, and then they are going to lose it out of bounds. Pass was intercepted by Tim Barthel, and he lost it. Now Rich Widman comes back in, and Art Rue will go to the bench. Check that, John Christensen goes to the bench. Kernels have it with 1:45 to play. Get the ball underneath Chad Doctor. It's blocked from behind. Good defensive play by Dana Hagan. And the Bulldogs come into the front court with it. Sam Kirstein, free throw line to Hagan. Now the right wing, Jamie Wells. Kernels staying man-to-man defensively and playing it pretty tight, and they knocked the ball away out front. Travis Peters knocked it out of bounds. With 1:23 to go. Again, we'll remind you, stay tuned for the other scores of those other section games tonight. Shot up right side by Jeff Viedekamp, wouldn't go down. Kernels have the rebound. Art Rue driving to the baseline, gives it to Travis Peters, and he'll hit the jumper. So Peters has his first basket of the night. Makes it 72-43 with 1:06 to go. As we said at halftime, we'll pretty much know the field for the State A after tonight. All but one of the section champions will be crowned. Ball knocked away by the Kernels. They come up the floor with it and going to have the ball knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs here too. It'll be Mitchell's ball underneath their own basket. Looking at statistics here, we've got 22 turnovers in the ball game for Madison. Only 8 against Mitchell. Travis Peters from the corner, and he'll hit another one. Well, reserve guard Travis Peters with 4 points on the night, 74-43. And an intercepted pass by Chad Doctor. He'll feed to Peters, but we're going to get a traveling call. Travis Peters just got caught on the wrong foot that time, going down into the lane. Traveled with it. Madison will get it back. 31 seconds to go. Sam Kirstein leaves it to the free throw line. To Dana Hagan, pass in the lane. Art Rue intercepts it. Kernels want to run. They get it out to Heckenleibel. Now into Chad Doctor. We're going to get a 3-second violation against Mitchell. So more turnovers. As we count down the final seconds now, 12 to go. Foul out front at the free throw line is going to go against Mitchell's Art Rue. And I believe it's going to be Jamie Wells who will get a 1-1 situation here for Madison. So the Kernels never really in much trouble here tonight after about the opening 5-6 minutes of the ball game when it was only a 2 to 4 point lead. Then they open it up at the end of the first quarter as Madison had turnover problems there right in a stretch of about 4 or 5 minutes. They turned the ball over 7 times, and the Kernels took advantage of it. Wells makes one of his free throws. Second won't go. Here come the Kernels up the floor. 4 seconds to go. They'll get a basket from Heckenleibel, and the clock will run out. And the Mitchell Kernels are headed to the State A basketball tournament with a big win here tonight over the Bulldogs of Madison. The final score, Mitchell 76 and Madison 44. So the Kernels win it by a big 32-point spread here tonight. And we'll now be on to the State A tournament. They'll play that second game of the first round against either Aberdeen Central or Pierre. Again, the final, 76-44. And we'll be back with a final wrap-up of tonight's championship game in 1 minute. And here's the second one by Peets, also good. So they're 4 for 4 as a team, and it's 18-16 Mitchell. Bird quickly into the front court to Split, side of the lane, up and in. Kelly Split's having himself an excellent first half. Kelly's got 8 points, and it's 20-16. 4:40 remaining, first half of play. Mike Peets, left-hand corner for Aberdeen. Mitchell not changing defensively at all, staying in the zone. Right-hand side, Chris Kruger, double-teamed in the lane, intercepted by Bird. Here's the lead for Kyle Adams. He's going to go the distance and score. Bird picked off the loose ball and gave it to Kyle Adams for the easy 2. And again, it's a good defense that's really helped out the Kernels here in this first half. It's given them a couple of 3 baskets. Basically their lead right now. They're up by 6. Left side, Peets. Out to Kramer, top of the key. He'll let fly. In and out. Rebound, Bart Friedrick. Friedrick on the outlet to Kelly split. And out of Bird to Chad Anderson. Drives inside of the lane. Puts it off the glass. No good. Kyle Adams in there with a nice rebound. And he brings it back out. Actually 3 Aberdeen men underneath. But Kyle Adams snuck in there to bring the ball out. Metro with a chance to go up by 8. Anderson underneath. Nice pass off to Bird. He can't get the shot to go. Friedrick on the rebound is fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line. Oh, that was a super pass inside that time from Chad Anderson down to Tim Bird. He just couldn't get the lay-in to go. But Bart Friedrick fouled, and Friedrick was fouled, so Bart will be at the free throw line for a pair of shots. The foul's going to go against Chris Kruger, his first. And we're going to get a substitute for the Kernels. John Christensen comes in. Kelly split will go out. He said Kelly's got a